Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Taking Over. I am OLED Ed Fries, and I'm joined by the one and only, the natural Astrid Pizarro. Astrid, how you doing tonight?
I don't know how I feel about after that show. What are you doing?
That was an interesting 2 hours.
That was a show, and it happened.
Starting now, yep, it is definitely starting now. Hello, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. Good evening to the NXT Tuesday to us. Yes. NXT was not the delightful gift that it normally is, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. We also have our friend Blasphemous jumping in from the Get the Tables chat. Hello, Blasphemous, asking, it's pizza time. I wish it was Tiffy time. I really do. You know what? I need to make myself feel better.
All I have to say now is it's Tiffy time.
I just needed to feel better.
I was like, what does that have to do with pizza time?
Well, the emoticon, if you don't see it in the corner, is the Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time from. You have to start watching the Get the Tables podcast. So every week they do their great watch alongs. It's fantastic. They do all kinds of great works over there. And I want to announce it here. We're going to announce it later on as well. But it was announced last night, and we can definitely go ahead and continue to announce it. On night one of WrestleMania, after the greatest tag team meet match in WrestleMania history, with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins finally learning that they've to subjugate themselves to the tribal chief and the final boss, we are going to be joined by the one, the only, Tony from Get the Tables is going to be joining both me and Astrid as we go ahead and do a post-show for night one of WrestleMania. It is going to be a bunch of fun. We've been working for a little while trying to get this thing together here. We've been trying to figure out what show would be best. We finally pulled the trigger. Night one of WrestleMania. Our local establishment's been working out the fine kinks of this one, and oh boy, do I have a busy week next week. Let me tell you.
Only you.
I'm up to 7 shows next week.
I haven't even counted mine.
I'm up to 7 shows.
I think Ollie's gonna have to fund our pizzas for next weekend because we're gonna need a lot of pizza to get through this whole weekend next weekend. So
Barry Monkey says, "Say hello, everyone." Of course, Bob. This is an inside joke that if you've watched the Japanese wrestling update, you'll understand. Sword Hammer. But if you haven't, then next Friday.
I remember. Took me a moment.
Barry said he enjoyed this, and I don't disagree. I figured he might enjoy this because this was a train wreck of an episode. Oh, Blasphemous. NXT has dozens of pizza commercials. They did have a lot. I got 2 or 3 Domino's commercials. I got about 3 Pizza Hut commercials, and I got a couple Little Caesars in here too. So
damn,
he's right. 73 Pizza Hut adverts during WWE this week, or is what it feels like. Our local establishment, awesome news. That's going to be incredible. Our local establishment, you okayed this 3 days ago. You knew this was happening. It almost made Barry make pizza at 2 a.m. I don't doubt that. That's probably something Barry would do at 2 a.m.
I mean, he did confirm right at there.
And he did say. Getting to the show. Let's start on a high note. The show starts off on a high note. A 10-minute banger between Shawn Spears and Dijak. This thing was great. I loved this match. It's honestly, it's my match of the night. I thought this thing was great. They got 10 plus minutes from the start of the show until about quarter past. They went on this one match, and it was great. Joe Gacy stealing the chair from underneath the ring and taking it, which I love how it wasn't just the spot. It plays into the finish, kind of the finish. It wasn't directly the finish, but a couple moves later, it was the finish. I love that. I could watch these guys do this every week, a whole lot more than I could watch some of the other things we saw on this show. Ashley, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good choice for the opener. Like you said, this was probably my favorite match tonight, to be honest. So I'm glad it happened. I just didn't think where they were going to put it on the card necessarily. I knew it was not going to be like, to put it unquote, like the main event, but I'm glad they put it as the opener because it caught my attention and I went downhill from there. So I'm glad they're the ones that kept my attention as long as they did it. But no, I like the match between both of them. It's just like I like the chemistry they had, and add Joey Gacy. There's like a a little bit more to that by having Gacy in there because he's one of my favorite people to watch. So yeah, I enjoy this a lot.
And we want to thank Diamond Dave, the Diamond Dave Show, who works alongside Tony over at Get the Tables, for going ahead and sending the raid. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for jumping in. It's always nice to have more people talking NXT, especially since you guys just watched NXT. Yeah, I think Gacy's the perfect guy to continue fleshing out this new Spears gimmick. And how remarkable. Barry says a good match with Shawn Spears, it had to happen one day. It's amazing the difference having Dijak in the ring, somebody we actually give a shit about, wrestling Shawn Spears, versus having Shawn Spears work with Ridge Holland, who nobody gives a shit about. And we'll talk about that more later in the show.
Totally agree on that.
We then had Roxanne Perez doing her promo for next week's the show for Stand and Deliver. Astrid, I want your thoughts on it before I give you my one promo.
You don't want to go on your rant, so you let me do the positive part first. I mean, I liked it and I didn't. I'm definitely torn about it because I definitely like the new attitude. I've said it before. I like this attitude and the way she continues it. But I don't believe her, though. Not in this particular instance. The way she just keeps talking to, like, my heroes. Like, I am my own hero. I don't need them. And I'm looking out for myself. And look at that girl from a year ago. She's so pathetic. Look at me now. That kind of thing. I was like, I don't believe you though, because you're still inside of you. You're still that girl you're talking about right now. So it's like, this is not really a diss in that aspect. So that's the part that I was like, it didn't feel genuine in that part of it. But I definitely like her old get up and her going and cutting the pictures and things like that. I did like that aspect of it. But again, it's like I don't believe her because I know this is what her dream has been. I know what she's been like, and I know who she is in that aspect. So I know obviously this is completely a whole, how different like persona she's trying to give us, but it didn't work out for me in that aspect. But I did like having her showing us that video package and like reflecting back on that year and how it's been since that year. But again, I don't believe her like I did before on this one. At least I would have preferred something like the promo she did last week. I feel like I believed her more then than I believed her with this. And I feel like even then when you see her, she kind of looked like she was smiling a little bit in some aspects, but not in a heel type of way, more like I'm happy that I'm doing this type of way. And it's like it just didn't come across. It didn't translate very well on camera for me, at least. So that's why I say I'm torn about it, because I liked it and what she said, but I don't believe it though.
My notes here say disingenuous, dishonest, disheartening, disgraceful. This promo is what I feared with the Roxanne Perez heel turn. I think, and I kind of agree with Barry here, getting heartily sick of her promos. She's a good wrestler, but she should shut up. Everything physically that she does for the heel turn works. The aggression's been knocked up. She's less smiley in the ring. She has the more aggressive wrestling style. She's changed some of her wrestling moves to fit a more aggressive heel style. She's doing less of the fan favorite stuff and going more to other stuff. Hell, she's not even using pop rocks to finish matches anymore. She's going to the submission hold to show a different side, to take away from that crowd pop that the pop rocks will get for her. And then she opens her fucking mouth. And I understand that she has to navigate this, and this is developmental, and she has to learn how to do this. But we've seen Roxanne Perez on social media before she got to WWE. We've seen her in Ring of Honor. We've seen her growing up. We saw little Roxanne Perez, not in any sort of character, all happy to meet the Divas on Total Divas. We know exactly who this girl is and what she stands for. And trying to tell me that girl is a character that needed to die is just not going to fucking fly.
No.
Especially this promo looks bad after what we hear from Lyra later. Because the words that I use to describe the Roxanne promo are almost the exact opposite of what I'm going to use to describe the Lyra promo. And I'm shocked that I'm going to be saying, like I said, I think Roxanne can pull off a heel character, but they had to navigate this carefully, and they didn't. And like Barry says, this is where they're going to fall. It's the promo aspect, not so much blasphemous. Roxanne versus Lyra promo on a pole match.
And to add to this too, this promo almost sounded like it was written for Cora.
It almost
It gave me Cora vibes all over, and I kept thinking. Again, it made me think back of what you said. I was like, I feel like this was Cora's thing, and you can tell like this was mostly written for her rather than Roxanne. And not only think about that, but I was thinking, you know, who could be a good person to like really help out Roxanne in this transition will be Bailey. Bailey is somebody that from a hugger, I would have never thought about having her as a heel whatsoever. I never thought she could pull it off. And then she's becoming one of the best heels I've ever seen in the women's division. And it's just amazing to see her back and transforming back to a face now in that process there. So it's like I would like Roxanne to kind of get some lessons in that aspect from Bailey. How do you go from like having one of the most lovable characters in the women's division to having somebody that people like almost hate? And I feel like she could learn from Bailey in that aspect. But again, this whole promo just gave me Cora vibes.
The other thing I'd say about this is that I don't remember Bailey cutting this kind of a promo. Like, I remember her chopping down and cutting down the Bailey buddies and, you know, saying that this is over. But I don't remember her basically saying that everything I've done is a lie. That person I need to, you know, like, I've killed that person. How disgraceful was. Like, she understood what it was and that she needed to change and mature. And if she'd only said that, and she almost did. Like, she said things that, if they're worded slightly differently, make a lot of sense. I was this person, but look at what I needed to do to change, because this person couldn't do what I needed to do to get back to where I needed to be. There were ways to do this to make it work for the Roxanne character, but to basically attempt to kill off the old Roxanne and cut up these photos and cut up fake photos of photos, because there's no way she's cutting up these real photos of her and AJ or her and Bailey and other things that they're not doing that. Blasphemous. I wanted Cora versus Roxanne with AJ Lee as the special guest referee.
Yep. All the daughters.
Don't be surprised if we see AJ Lee in WWE sooner rather than later. I'm telling you.
She's getting mentioned too often.
Punk's mentioning her a little too often for my liking, for her not to come back at some point. Cora's here, Roxanne's here, Bailey's here. Like, there are legitimate places for her to work. And even if it's just short term, she could have a 1-year sustained run and just encapsulate it into 12 months. And there's a lot of good that she can do. And I think that run ends with Cora Jade. Because obviously Cora's injury, you can't start with Cora. Because I feel like that's where you would want to start.
I was going to say, Indy's the other one. That's the other AJ daughter.
Okay. We got Papa Smokes joining us. Hello, Papa Smokes. Thank you for tuning in on a Tuesday night. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sure Ashley does as well. But I could be down for Cora versus Roxanne at some point. Like I said, I think, like we talked about, this whole thing was set up for Cora. Like, the promo maybe not, like, I get what you're saying. It sounds like a Cora promo, but Cora's been a heel for over a year and a half. Like, the promo itself wasn't written for Cora. But they're trying to fit a Roxanne-shaped peg into a no. Don't want to say that. Don't want to finish that sentence.
It's a Roxanne tray. They try to fit into a Cora tray. Does that help? Kind of.
Yeah, maybe? That's a little bit better. It sure is a hell of a lot better than what I was about to say.
I'm glad I'm here.
All righty. Thea Hale versus Jazmyn Nix. Thea Hale comes out to face Jazmyn Nix, but first we get Idris Enofe and Malik Blade, Hank Tank, and Andre getting ready to audition to be guest hosts for Stand and Deliver, and then Metaphor walked in, and I went, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, I already know what's coming, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Barry Monkey. Corey's been a heel for a year and a half. 3 weeks of that's actually wrestling. In her defense, she's had some really rotten luck with injuries. Like, she really takes after CM Punk when it comes to injuries. Like, this
oh my god, she takes after her father.
Takes after Phil, because Phil can't keep his ass healthy worth to save his life either right now.
What was it
Granted,
for?
at least Bill has about 20 years on her, so
Yeah, that's true. What was it? What was it that Drew told him for somebody who's straight edge, you're always in rehab?
yeah. That was a great that was a great promo segment.
Ah,
And Phil,
loved it.
we can't go off on a tangent about that yet. We'll talk about that at the
Yeah.
end of the show, but we're not gonna talk about it right now.
Yeah.
I want to reluctantly take back something I said last week. Jazmyn Nix was not a train wreck in the ring.
Okay.
I'll also say Jazmyn Nix and Thea Hale had the best women's match on this card. I mean, that wasn't hard considering, if I remember correctly, there's only one other women's match
I
on
was
this
about
card.
to say the competition
train wreck.
isn't much.
But
Oh my
Jazmyn
God.
can sell. Jazmyn can sell. She looked really good. She was in the right places at the right times to do the right things. She has an interesting, innovative, soccer-based offense that reminds me very slightly of Dakota Kai. It's not like a mirror image of Dakota Kai, but it's a kick-based offense because she's a soccer player. So she's used to using her legs as an arsenal. I was, as Barry says, I was surprised at how good she was as well. I was shocked at how well she kept up. And again, the match wasn't long. They didn't get much time. There wasn't a whole lot to this match. But she didn't sell poorly, which is a sign. For some of these NIL people, the biggest sign is, can you sell properly? She was selling the fear. She was selling getting hit. She was selling when, all the different things. Her flat back bumps look good. Like, she did all the basics. Again, it's shocking to say she did all of this so well when we're going to be talking about the breakout star who can't do anything right. This match is a storyline. This match is all a storyline. Like, Jazmyn Nix's match here was not meant to be a showcase of Thea or Jazmyn. It was meant to showcase the storyline between Thea and JC. And it works perfectly. With JC stealing the towel from Andre, trying to throw it in. It gets caught on the rope, and what's his name?
Riley.
Not Bodie, the other one. Riley, that's the one. Not Bodie. The non-Bodie.
Non-Bodie and Riley. Poor Riley.
He goes in there and grabs the towel before it hits the ring mat, so it doesn't count as a quit. They get tossed out. JC thinks she has it made. She goes ahead and gets in Thea's face, and she tries to slap Thea. They don't get the win. Thea rolls it into that still really bad armbar. Kimura lock.
I was going to say, isn't the Kimura lock?
No, it's an armbar.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
It's supposed to be a Kimura.
Yes.
It's not a good Kimura, but it's supposed to be a Kimura. She then, after the match, tries to break Jazmyn's arm by redoing the whole Kimura lockdown. And yes, if that were done by somebody with real force, with somebody really trying to stop it, yes, it could theoretically break your arm. And he who shall not be named, when he did this with Triple H, when he did this with Shawn Michaels, when he did this with The Undertaker, he makes it look real because it is real. This dude's a badass who can legitimately hurt you. And he makes it look that way. Thea needs to make it look that way. Barry, to be fair, soccer players used to roll out on the floor. I agree. Like, I don't disagree. Like, she's had all the training she needs to sell. I'm just saying I was surprised at how good she was at it, and I wanted to take back all the mean things I said about her last week, because honestly, if she keeps this up, she might be a tolerable superstar. I mean, she's a bad knockoff Toxic Attraction 2.0. And by the way, I do have a line in here, Booker, where Booker says, yeah, JC was part of the greatest faction in NXT history. Booker, what faction would that be?
I was going to say, what is it called again? I forgot the name.
Because Booker didn't say it, and neither did Vic.
No. Oh no, and there was I forgot the line too, but there was something like that. They kind of mentioned it, like that. Just still mention the names. It just I think it's funny. Oh, something about like Gacy taking a seat or something like that because of the chair at the beginning and things like that. That I'm like, I see what you're doing there. Just don't mention like the little things like that, like with toxic attractions. Like you can just say it. It's part of the company. 2/3 of the people are still in it, so it's not like it was like the whole group left or anything like that. So I don't understand why it's like so like bad. I'm not bad, but I forgot the word. But like to say it on screen, I was like, why is it so bad? I have no idea.
We just had CM Punk calling out Drew McIntyre being Vince McMahon's chosen one and tempting him to say the name Vince McMahon on television, and Drew having to sit there and just hold his tongue. Like, we can do that on Raw. We can fucking say the name Toxic Attraction. All she did is post nudie pictures on the internet. It's not that big a fucking deal.
Oh my god! But it was funny, and what I like about the match is like I knew it was not gonna last too long because I figured Jazmyn is still kind of new. If they're probably gonna give her more time, so I was expecting to be like maybe 5 minutes or probably less, to be honest. So just thinking about it, and I like how it progressed the story because we haven't mentioned that part. I thought at first Jazmyn was gonna win it the way they ended it. I was really close to thinking that was gonna happen. I'm glad Thea won though because I feel like that's definitely better in that aspect. And then we have Izzy coming in, Kiana and JC just beating her up, and then here we have Kalani and Fallon for the save, which I'm guessing is probably gonna be like a pre-show match or maybe a match next week, and then we're gonna have that 6-woman tag somehow.
Barry thinks that Booker T on commentary probably has an earphone just constantly yelling at him, don't mention that. Booker was also talking about how he was intently focused when Jazmyn was laying on the ring during her entrance. Honey, your body ain't that good that you can do that kind of beautiful people style entrance. You need to, step your game up if you want to start doing stuff like that. Velvet Sky and Angelina Love have set that bar very high to do that kind of an entrance. You got to really have something to do it. You and JC ain't got nothing. Mandy could do it. Tiffy could do it. Hell, at this point now, Cora Jade could probably do it. You got to have an attitude and a certain figure to be able to pull off the. There's a reason why the beautiful people were the beautiful people. Like let's not kid ourselves here. They got over for a multitude of reasons, but that entrance was right near the damn top.
Oh yeah.
I'm not wrong. You watched TNA long enough to
Tell me I'm wrong. No, you're not wrong.
Otis could do it. Yes, Otis could do it.
Oh my god, imagine somebody doing that entrance on the 2K game.
I'm gonna have to go look tonight to see if the beautiful people's entrance is in the game. And
with Otis in it though.
Otis and Gable, yeah.
Oh my god, no, do Tozawa at least. I wouldn't do that to Gable.
Okay, Tozawa. But yeah, we have the battle. I think the 6-woman tag's happening at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, it's either Stand and Deliver kickoff or next week.
No, I think it might actually take place in the main show period because I think it's missing a match.
Yeah, true.
Think about it: Trick and Mello, the men's title, the women's title, the tag team, and the triple threat. That's 5 matches. It's Stand and Deliver. There's going to be a 6th match. Nothing else fits the bill. I mean, I don't think you shotgun Gacy and Spears there, but that's a contender for that spot. So I think if that's the case, I think the 6-woman tag would be a good thing. Plus, it puts a second women's match on the show, and it gets 6 women on there. So you can tout that you have 8 women on that show, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. 9 because Jazmyn will be ringside. So
I was about to say there's going to be people at ringside, so that helps too.
We then have, and we're going to do all the prime targets now. We're just going to take care of them now because there are 3 parts broken down. Prime target part 1, the beginnings of the Trick Mello gang. The only real line in here, like, it was good. Like, they had Randy Orton in there. They had CM Punk in there. They had Booker T in there. This was well done. I would have liked this as one, like, thing after NXT to have had Prime Target to be like a 25-minute special with, like, 2 commercial breaks. And they do these video packages as part of that. And it takes, even if it's only 10, 15 minutes, like, bring us to 10:30 and just have a couple more ad breaks in the show. But the line from this first section that got to me, Mello says, "It was a lie from the very beginning. It was always a Mello thing, and you were just along for the ride."
Damn. But what I like about this more than anything is that having people like adding Brandy and Punk in there, those people, like they're main event people. Having them do a video package for your rivalry just tells you, if you didn't think you were the main event then before this, you're definitely thinking you're the main event now just because you have these people involved reflecting on your feud. That's something huge. You don't get stuff like that often. That's what makes you think of, like, if you didn't know before tonight, they're definitely the main event, as you can tell by this video package tonight. That gives you already the vibes of like, this is definitely more important than anything else going on right now, even the world title. And that's, imagine thinking about that, because it's not often that we get a main event that's not the world title. So I loved having like any, I don't want to say legends, but like obviously people like veterans being involved in this and reflecting back on a feud from NXT. It's not something you see very often here in those kind of involvements like that.
And the thing that makes it really stick out for me is that Punk worked with both Trick and Mello before the Royal Rumble coming back. He also worked out with, I believe it was Bron, and who was the fourth person there? Was it Nathan? It was a smaller guy.
Probably.
Yeah. I know it was Bron, I know it was Trick, I know it was Mello, and there was somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
When Cody was coming back, Cody worked with both Gacy and Carmelo Hayes. When Randy was coming back, Randy worked with Mello. Like, all of these guys know these guys because these are the kind of guys that when guys are coming back and go to the PC, this is the list of guys that you get to work with. And yes, Trick was only added to that list recently, but it makes sense in terms of Trick becoming a bigger star, learning how to do it, and Mello and Bron were going to take the forefront of the training with Punk, and Trick was in there to be a big body because he needed to work with a Drew McIntyre, because they were always planning to go this route with Punk and McIntyre, as we can see with what's going on there. Barry says, I think Punk will be at Stand and Deliver. Wonder if he'll ref it. No, I don't think so. I think this is just going to be straight up just Trick and Mello. They're not going to add any sizzle to it. They don't need to. This match has been building for a long time. They need nothing else other than to put these guys in a ring and let them go.
Yeah.
It sounds like Punk is busy on night 2 of WrestleMania. It sounds like he's doing Seth Rollins versus McIntyre on commentary.
Yep.
We find out that Alpha Academy is in the main event, and I put 3 question marks because I didn't think that was a good idea. I mean, I didn't think about the rest of the show and how pitiful this show was going to be, but I really didn't think that needed to be a main event.
And not only that, but after watching Raw last night, this was one of the best Raws in a while. Like that, it almost felt like a go home show. And to get an NXT like this right after that Raw, just like
it's deflating. It's deflating, is what it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of deflating, Lola Vice Open Challenge. Oh boy!
I wish I could go back and find clips of you saying how much you're gonna love this girl here, because no, I said it to you off the air, and I'm gonna say it here on air because I don't care at this point. Go back to shaking your ass on Instagram while you can, girlfriend, because no, this ain't it. This is not the breakout tournament when I expected to have. Can we have a rematch for this title? Because no, I'm done. I'm legit done with this girl. I read that this was gonna happen open challenge, and I just didn't know what to think. And then I see Natalia the answer. It's like, okay, that's fine because Natty can carry her. You know, it's Natty. We know Natty has experience. And then watching this, holy crap. I have no words. I really don't. And I hate to say that for a woman's part, for a woman's section. But holy crap, this ain't it. Take this girl off TV as soon as you can. Have her train more than I don't like. Not only that, but this is one of the few times I'm gonna say this, and I hate to say it with like my whole chest. Oh my gosh. But having a Latina be this way on screen, no, do not put me on the solo. No. I was gonna say, being a Latina though, she like does too much to be a Latina on screen. You know what I mean? It's always like having those like random Spanish words. It almost feels like you don't know Spanish. You're just throwing them out there to make it look like you're Spanish. I don't like it. I really don't. I freaking hate it. Don't do that. Don't give me a little like, I estaba loca. And then everything else is like, no, don't do that. It's so freaking random. I miss Electra Lopez on here. I really do. Electra was the Latina you wanted to have on the show. This girl didn't learn anything from her. Nothing. It's like, Electra, you just wasted your time. How many ones were you guys together? You wasted your time. I'm sorry you did. Because I really am so frustrated with her. Like, so bad. Seeing this and just like the little Spanish words are like, I'm like, whoever's cheering for her, please hush. No, no, please don't. I hated this so much. And I flipping hate that I hated it. I'm done.
We have a good friend Flo back in the chat sending support all the way from the hospital. Hopefully everything is all right with you, good sir.
No.
We're sending good vibes and prayers your way. But thank you for checking us out, and hopefully you guys keep me updated on the Twitter machine. What's going on with you? Hopefully things get better. Yeah, this is a fucking train wreck, plain and simple. Natalya can carry a match. Like, there's nothing wrong with Natalya's ability to carry a match. There's nothing that she could do to help with this match. This was a train wreck. I did think there was lots of hope for an ex-MMA fighter who looks the way Lola looks. You know, I've watched her fight in the UFC. She's not bad. She wasn't Ronda Rousey level, but she wasn't bad. I've seen the way she was on Instagram, and I'm like, ooh, I'm excited because obviously I'm excited.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. I wonder what could possibly excite me about her on Instagram. Anyways, moving on. It was very quick to see that her MMA talent wasn't going to like Ronda Rousey was rough in the ring at some points in her career.
Yep.
Ronda Rousey looks like fucking Charlotte Flair, like Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace. Like, she looks like a fucking star compared to Lola Vice in the ring. Like, Ronda was great compared to Lola Vice. There's no reason why Lola shouldn't be able to do this other than she's just not talented enough. And I'd say that if she was a man, woman, anything in between, she can be whatever she wants to be. She just can't be a professional wrestler. And, like, I get it. I don't have the ability to say this. I'm a 500-pound white man sitting here on my ass talking about wrestling and not going in the ring and doing it. But you know what? We can all see when people have talent and when people don't have talent.
Yeah.
We've watched enough wrestling to see good wrestlers. Hell, Last Legend is getting better at the very least. It's taking forever, but she's getting better. She's at least competent in the ring now.
And not only that, but you, for example, we cannot even compare her to like a Maxine, because Maxine was thrown to the wolves with little training. So it's like you can't even compare and say, oh, she'll be like Maxine. She'll learn as she goes and she's getting better, because Maxine's getting better little by little. No, I'm like, they shouldn't have put this girl in this breakout tournament the way they did. They shouldn't have. They should have did the spot to anybody but her, because she was not ready. She's still not ready to be on TV. Like her promos and what they're in ring, they're not genuine. They don't sound genuine. They sound terrible. And the wrestling is not great either. So I'm just like, what do you have then? What do you really have on screen if you don't have any of those? And it's like, if Natty cannot even save you, we got a problem then. A huge problem. And just like, and at this point, I don't even want her involved with the rest of the girls, because the rest of the girls are like miles ahead of her. So it's like, they're gonna look terrible if they go on have a match against her. So what are we gonna do with her at this point? The best time we have was those little like moments that we had of her kind of showing a little bit of her MMA experience, but that's been a couple minutes here and there, and nothing, greater than that. And just,
we got Barry coming here and saying it. Yes, she's a worker. You're a customer. You can say it's shit. Yes, but there's a certain level of like us fans sit here and talk about how people in the ring who work and put in the effort and really try and make meaningful, like a Maxine. She's making efforts to get better. She's getting better week in and week out. You can see she's actually working with Gable. It's not just that she's with them as like a TV thing. Like, she's part of that group and that family, and she's getting better week in and week out. And you understand that she's doing it to a point where they're using it for a storyline now.
Yeah.
With the Candice LeRae stuff, they're using it for a storyline. There's a difference with this. It's like things came out from the Ronda Rousey book. We've seen excerpts of how Bruce Pritchard didn't like Ilja. I've been a long time hater of Ilja. I didn't think she had it. I kept saying, I wonder what blackmail she has to continue to have her job for as long as she did. But I did that because of the fact that we never got to see her trying to get better, because they'd let her wrestle a match or 2 or 3, and then they'd put her on the shelf and have her not wrestle again for 6 to 8 months or a year at a time, and then bring her out again for 2 or 3 more matches and then put her away again. Like, it's different with Ilja, and obviously that was a management thing. That management didn't think she connected with the audience, and that management had no faith in her, and they were claiming that the girls didn't like her. And obviously that was a lie, because it came out of the mouth of Bruce Pritchard, and duh. But that's a completely different story, I think, with Lola Vice. Like, Lola Vice, like, I said it to you as a joke in our messages. Nobody wanted to work with Lola Vice, and they had to call Natalia to come down and do
it. Once I read that, I went, it sounds like a joke, but it almost sounds so too real as well at the same time. That's what it feels like.
Barry Monkey, she needs a hair color change. It did wonders for Mandy Rose. Talk about somebody else who really improved in the ring with given time and effort. Mandy Rose was a joke for a long time when it came to in-ring talent. But she put in the time, and she put in the work, and she got a great opportunity. Don't get me wrong. The Otis thing was a great opportunity. But she made that shit pay off. She worked her ass off to make that work. Lola's not putting in the same effort. And if you have this bad of a match with fucking Natalia, like, that's it. That's all. You're done, folks. Speaking of the Hart family, I do want to go ahead and give this shout out that our good friends, Papa Smokes and Bobby Munson, who were in the chat earlier, wanted to go ahead and give them a shout out because of the fact that they are going to be having Ross Hart on Ring Respect Radio this Thursday. They were talking with Ross Hart, one of the Hart family members, worked in Stampede Wrestling in both iterations. So it's definitely going to be a good chat. And if you want to learn about the Harts, or if you have questions about the Harts, go ahead and ask them there. Within reason. We all have our own question about the Harts within reason. Remember, this is Ross Hart and not, some of the other ones. So let's keep it professional and civil, because this is a good man who's, gonna do a good thing for us. So I'm very excited about that. So it'll be nice to see Ross out here. Talk to me about this Shawn Spears promo, Astrid.
What can I say? This guy's a brave man, doing promos in the parking lot twice in a row. Once I saw him promo, I was like, "You're very brave, Shawn. Very brave. I'll give you that." That's all I could think about during this whole promo. No, just I kind of laughed a little bit though, because he just says like he was disappointed because of the Gacy situation, and all of a sudden, like the chairs on the floor, and the Gacy screams, "I just wanted to return it to you, and I forgot." And then when you see somebody's foot stepping on it, Obafemi, he yells, "Oba!" And like he yells it out to him the way he did. It was just so, it made me laugh because I kept thinking of like how brave Shawn is for being in the parking lot to Gacy being involved, and it just made me laugh too much. And it's more that it should hurt, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, we also want to give a nice shout out to Game Time Art, as they went ahead and rated us for with 5 viewers. So we want to greatly thank you for coming in on our local establishment. For those that don't know us, our local establishment is a multi-service podcasting platform. We have all sorts of different kinds of shows on our airs, including wrestling-based content most days of the week. We also have a Marvel show that's coming up. Tomorrow is one of our next shows, but we have Marvel shows. We also just reviewed the new Ghostbusters movie, Frozen Empire, last night. So definitely go ahead and thanks that. Oh, and get the tables gifted a 1 month subscription to my channel to good old Barry Monkey. So Barry's now a subscriber, so he doesn't have to sit through the ads anymore. Good for you, Barry.
Oh, Barry got blessed with no ads.
Thank you once again to get the tables, and Tony, we very much appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for that. Yeah, I like the Shawn Spears promo. It was good to the point, and it's fueling this Gacy thing. I love how he just throws the chair down. He's like, I was trying to get it to you. Like, it's so Gacy. Like, it works. Yes. And it works with the Spears thing because Spears is like, I didn't plan on Gacy. I don't know what to do about this. Because Gacy is so different.
Unpredictable.
Like, Spears has had a plan. Trying to take down Ridge. He had a plan of what he wanted to do. Getting involved with Dijak probably wasn't in his plan, but he knew what he was getting into with dealing with Dijak. He knew that it wasn't going to be the same thing he was trying to do with Ridge. But Gacy's on another level of nuts.
Yeah. I love Gacy involved in this. It's so fun. I'm glad one of my favorite people is getting involved in this.
And by the way, if you want more Gacy, check him out every Thursday on Javier Bernal's Twitch channel as they do Horror Movie Thursday. They're playing Alan Wake 2 right now, I believe it is, that they're playing, and they're having a good time with that.
See,
I've become a real enjoyer of the Big Body Javi Twitch stream, man. Getting my Big Body Javi time. It's nice. I enjoy it. I don't get to see him here, so I get to see him somehow.
That's true. We got to do a hashtag. We want Javi.
Speaking of people that we want on television, Sol Ruca had a really good promo here.
I didn't get to hear it, so you got to tell me.
She talked about how Blair took her out. She talked about how Blair, did a laundry list of things to people. Poor Astrid got attacked by her forever ago.
I was going to say, I've been gone for a while. That was the longest nap I ever had.
Wendy Chu's been out for forever. Nikita got hurt. And then she came back and she got hurt again.
Oops.
But Sol says that, you know what? You may have torn my tendons, but next week I'm going to snatch your soul. That was a good promo for Sol Ruca. We've not had her cut a promo in a while. Like a real promo.
Just the line is funny though.
The other day was like a little conversational thing. Like this is an actual promo, and it was actually really good. Granted, it was pre-recorded and they could do as many takes as they needed to. But it felt all right. It felt genuine. It felt good. I really enjoyed it. Blair comes back at her and she cuts a really good promo and goes, I'll just put you on again. Like, I'm not worried about this. I'll just put you on the injury list again.
Shoot.
I'm surprised Blair didn't take credit for putting Nikita out again, as we've now heard Nikita confirmed that she's 8 weeks out from surgery, a second surgery on that knee.
I was wondering whether she was going to do that or not, like eventually. Interesting.
Yeah. So, but we're getting Blair versus Sol Ruca next week, so that'll be nice. Hey, at least we're getting a good women's match next week.
Thank God.
Speaking of good matches, here we come with Stax versus Ilja Dragunov. Astrid, talking about Stax and Ilja.
There was a point, I think it was I would say towards the second half of the match when Dragunov was down, and I just had visual Dragunov being down and Stax being in the corner. I cannot get over that shot. It's I couldn't believe somebody like Stax having Dragunov almost down and out. That's just something that didn't cross my mind. So it's that's something that's probably the only thing I'll probably mention because I wasn't even taking notes. But it's just seeing that and just I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. Stax of all people. Wow.
He busted up his finger pretty good in this thing too, because you saw Ilja the entire rest of the night, his middle finger's jammed out in a weird position, and he's trying to open the invitation like this later on. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match. It wasn't a fantastic match. I thought Stax looked way better than he should have.
Yeah.
But they have big, and I'm okay with it. Big plans for Stax isn't bad. I think this guy's a potential future North American champion. I think I could see him and our man Luca. Our man Luca and him could be tag team champions again. I could see that being working.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a full-time big star. but I think I can see him doing a lot of lesser work, some secondary title work. But Barry's kind of right. Like, so the first time we had the D'Angelo family, and just so we're clear, we're talking about Tony D'Angelo and his family, not this family. I love that picture. I'm keeping it in here every time we talk about the
I noticed.
I'm very excited. I was very excited for him to come back to this mobster gimmick and doing it all. Barry says it perfectly right. I really couldn't give a flying fuck about Tony D'Angelo and his family right now. Like, I want to see the match because I think Dragunov versus Tony D'Angelo is going to be a good in-ring match.
Mm-hmm.
But
it just the build-up, I guess. It just almost feels kind of like, I don't want to say awkward, but that's
forced.
The best word I can. Yeah,
forced. It feels forced.
It feels like we have nothing for Dragunov because Trick and Bello's more important. So we're just like, here, Tony, this is the best thing we could do. Bam. And then,
which again, this is the reason why they should have put the title on Trick and then had Mello attack him.
Yep.
Because then you don't have to do either of these things. And you could have had the North American title match. And you could have done something like this in a much lesser position without the NXT championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I have nothing wrong with Stacks. I thought Stacks and Ilja had a really good match. And we're going to cover it. We'll cover it now. Luca goes ahead and goes back there later on in the night and goes ahead and invites Ilja to a special place. They said the name of it. I couldn't catch it for the life of me what the hell it's called. But it's not the restaurant. It's somewhere else where Tony did that thing with the guy. So
I'm going to go back and see if I can find it.
You know what? Ilja's got a date next week. I don't think Ilja's available. Ilja's kind of taken right now, but you know, Tony, whatever you want, I guess you get it. So we'll see that. I said we were going to cover all the Prime targets, and I only covered one, so we'll cover Prime Target part number 2. This was really great. It was an in-depth look at Trick Williams, something we've never had. We didn't know anything about this guy other than the fact that he was running with Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
And he naturally became a babyface off of that. This was really good work to build him as a babyface. To find out he's from and around the Philadelphia area. Trick tweeted out that he took his last football snap as a member of the Eagles. So Philly's born and bred in his blood. And he's coming back here. They had, a former NFL player who was talking about him. They had a guy who's training with him talking about how good he is. You had CM Punk talking about how the cut, the stab and the knife from a brother hurts more than any other because it's a special bond that you don't think will ever be broken. And it's one thing to be betrayed by somebody. It's worse to be betrayed by somebody that you thought of as a brother. Really great work at talking about Trick's motivations going into Stand and Deliver. Any thoughts from you about this?
No, I'm glad they did this because, like you said, we keep thinking about when he started, and it was just like Carmelo's like shadow, to put it like that. And it's like we never get to hear his story or like what happened with him, and all of a sudden he rises to the occasion in such a way, and we end up falling in love with this character and cheering for him, but we still don't know what he's about if you think about it, because we never got like any kind of promo talking about his character. And imagine like how long has he been with Carmelo? Now we finally get some background into him. I never thought about that until this happened today, and I'm glad it happened today though, because it's just nice to see that connection to Stand and Deliver before the show happens.
Throwback brings up an interesting point. It's something that I had to look back on when I first heard them say the thing, and I agree. I knew it was something they were going to retcon eventually. Trick did once say that they went to the same high school as Carmelo Hayes. They're not even the same age range, so that would never have actually happened. Yeah, it's a little thing that they're hoping most of us forget that we're not going to forget. But it is definitely something that they rechange what they're doing. I don't think they. So here's the thing. I think that line was thrown in there back then when they didn't know what they had with Trick. And they thought he was going to be was a hype man. and maybe eventually he'll get a little bit of popularity. They did not expect a mega explosion from Trick Williams into the realms that they did. And now they're going to have to retcon whatever they need to make his real life something that they can continue to tell for years to come. Because they can bury, I went to the same school as Mello. They can bury that somewhere as easily as they need to. Baron and Bron are arguing about Braun Breaker's tan and Baron Corbin's lack thereof. The Good Brothers come in and talk some shit, and the promo segment ends. Any more?
Baron, I'm glad you brought up the tan because it was bothering me too. It always has been. Jesus.
Did you see that Braun Breaker gave him the tanning? It was before the Good Brothers came in. He was going to give him the can of spray tan that said "The Sun."
Yeah. No. It's too dark.
All right. We come to a very... All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say it. I call bullshit on this whole entire fucking bullshit.
I second
Ridge
that
Holland
too.
Ridge Holland comes to the ring and cuts the worst retirement promo I think I've ever heard. Like, if he's really retiring, I'm sorry, Ridge, because I don't believe it. I
Might
don't
as well just
believe
wear a
you.
salmon jacket.
Like, WWE did not make a big deal that he was coming out to talk tonight.
No.
WWE, when people retire, they make it a big deal. Every time, all the time. When a wrestler's retiring, they want to make it a big deal. They want to promote the shit out of it. I knew Ridge was speaking tonight, but I didn't know what.
No.
I don't think he's retiring. Was a pretty lackluster promo.
This just reminded me of the Mark Henry promo with the salmon jacket. Just obviously not as good.
Yeah, but like it's not even that. It was long and rambly, but not in a way of a guy being emotional, talking about a thing that he loved or a career that he loved. It was long and rambly, like he was trying to remember the things he needed to say and the people.
The bullet points he had to hit. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, blasphemous. Rude, but again, the way me and Astrid talk about it, it's not nice either. Very fitting for his career. Kind of unforgettable, trying to hit the bullet points and failing. Like, Ridge Holland had all the promise in the world. They wanted to put him in a big spot against Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era with Pat McAfee and crew, and he hurt himself. And he lost himself that big spot. That was going to be a takeover match with Adam Cole for the World Championship. That was failure number one. He then came back and got hurt again. Failure number two. They put him on the main roster with the Brawling fucking Brutes. And I can't tell you anything notable that the Brawling Brutes did under his time in the Brawling Brutes. I can tell you things Sheamus did during his time in the Brawling Brutes, but I can't think of anything that him and Butch or him and Pete Dunne did in his time in the Brawling Brutes.
And do you think, like, not only that, but the Brawling Brutes is like being the highlight of his career? That's how I think about it.
Barry Monkey brings up a good. He sounded like he's going away for 6 months. Somebody should let him go to New Japan or MLW or TNA. I'd be fine with any of that. Like, if this were part of a TNA partnership where he's going to TNA for 6 months, that's fine with me. If he goes to that Japanese promotion that WWE has ties with and works there for 6 months, fine with me. If he goes away and doesn't come back, sorry, Ridge, fine with me. Bye-bye. Like, when Mark Henry cut his promo talking about the end of his career, even though he knew it was fake, you felt it. You felt how real it was. You felt about how much it meant to him. When Edge talked about it, when Daniel Bryan talked, Edge and Daniel Bryan cried about how their dreams were being taken away from them. They weren't getting an option. This kind of promo spits in the fucking face of guys like Daniel Bryan, Corey Graves, Edge, Paige, people who didn't think they were ever going to get another opportunity in this business, that dream about it, that wanted it, that would do anything for an opportunity. And he's walking away because he's not getting the success he wants. And he's not getting good at it. And it's like, why the fuck should I care about it?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a bit heartless. Yes, I'm being cruel. But we talked about this last week. They put him in that that feud with Shawn Spears, hoping to do something with it. And we felt nothing.
Yeah.
They did one match with Dijak and Spears, and I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this every week. They tease fucking Joe Gacy with stealing a chair and throwing a chair off the top of the roof. I'm like, let's do it. Stand and deliver. Like, I'm down with it. Like, Ridge Holland's been here for how many years? And he's like, oh, I see all the tweets and do you really, like, are people really tweeting, DMing you about how good or bad you are? Like, I don't even think he's bad enough that people give a shit to tweet him and hate tweet him. Like, I'm sorry if this comes off crass or this comes off rude or this comes off ungrateful, but none of this felt real in any way, shape, or form.
No, it didn't feel genuine at all.
It's just, I don't know.
To be honest, when he was leaving, I expected somebody to like attack him.
Yeah,
because of the shot they gave of like following him almost backstage.
They didn't even play his music on the way out. Like, Edge and Daniel Bryan get like 10 minutes in the ring at the very end of the show to like.
No, you can see the emotion too from them. They end up crying because they're like, "Oh, this is something that I love. It got taken away from me." You don't see that from him, so it doesn't feel genuine. And it's like I legit thought somebody's gonna come out and like pounce him or something like that. That's why they were giving us that white shot so that we could see if, like, the person coming and hitting him on the way out. That's what I expected. And all of a sudden, when he just leaves and nothing happens, it just felt awkward as well. And I feel like they didn't help out at all.
Throwback says he might be part of Bloodsport. I could see that. I think he'd fit in with Bloodsport just fine as a rugby player. Barry Monkey says Ridge should work with Von Wagner, get charisma lessons. Dude, Von Wagner, like, all right, so here's the thing. Ridge has charisma. Like, when he talks, it's not like an empty void. Like, there's something there. I've never disliked Ridge. I just never found a reason to love Ridge. And it's like, I don't know. It just felt, like you said, it felt off. There's something wrong with this promo from start to finish, and I just didn't. And again, if I come off heartless and inconsiderate and rude, I apologize to Ridge. Like, sorry, but like, I don't. There are so many people who come into this business and have it taken away from them. To kind of walk away like this for seemingly bullshit. Like, I get mental health is not something that you need to joke about. Mental health is not something small. But I just don't get it.
Yeah, really don't.
We then have Lyra Valkyria to fucking save this godforsaken show.
Can't believe you're saying that.
I can't
Guys,
believe it.
he didn't call her the bird lady.
Nope. She's Lyra fucking Valkyria now. No more bird lady.
Whoa! She graduated.
This was a killer promo. And yes, I popped for two things and missed half the promo. But
say it. Say it.
She talked about doing things the right way and the wrong way. And she gave a few examples. I only caught two of them, and I missed the other one in between. Professor X and Magneto. Oh, but still my nerd heart. She also brings up Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. And I'm like, oh, my nerd heart.
I think the third one was either House of Dragons or Game of Thrones reference by the names.
Could give a shit less.
I thought I heard Targaryen, but I'm not entirely sure. I have to replay it. I wouldn't know because I watched Game of Thrones.
She then went ahead and had this really intense and valuable understanding promo where she talks about how Roxanne had it all and threw it away. She brings up the ladder match that Roxanne lost after she got the title stripped away from her. It was like, you had an opportunity at the ladder match and you lost. She's like, you keep saying all this stuff, but you just took the easy way out by becoming evil and doing things the wrong way and attacking me. I used to have respect for you, but I no longer do. And I will vow to do everything and anything I can to keep Roxanne away from this title.
Mm-hmm.
We talked earlier. Disingenuous, disrespectful, disgraceful, dishonest when it came to Roxanne's promo about her own character. This felt warm. It felt meaningful. It didn't feel like she was reading off of something. It felt from the heart, from a part of her, not necessarily from a character perspective, but from a piece of her. It felt like this is who she sees her character as. She came off as well-read. She came off as a good promo. She had no issue keeping the pace at just the right time. She stopped when she needed to emphasize something. She picked up the pace when she needed to get through something. She cut a fantastic promo. I can't wait for her to beat Roxanne's little petty ass on next Saturday afternoon.
Bird Lady graduated. She did.
Absolutely.
No, I love not only like nerdy references, but she said Professor X and Magneto. I'm waiting for Ed to tell me about the reference. But
all caps.
Yeah, I love the part of it. Like even she said, it's like, oh, I think like in another life, you and I would have been friends, because it's basically the same kind of story in different ways. She's like, we both had the same dream. We both looked up to like the same people. If you just like with Roxanne, if you look up Lyra's tweets, you can see her always talking about Sasha, for example, and Becky. And even she said it like having to beat somebody like Becky for the title, like that's something huge for her, as somebody she looked up to. So like so many things that it basically is like an extension to the Roxanne that we had a year ago. So imagine thinking of Lyra continuing Roxanne's video package from last year, because that's what it felt like with this promo. And like the confidence that she said it in, and like you said, like she paused when she had to. She gave you that moment to like take in what she just said before she went on to the next one. I was like, I enjoy this a lot more than I thought I would.
Barry Monkey, yes, you definitely picked the wrong time to go make some tea and toast. This was it's not like a 5-star, oh my god, this is a fantastic promo. But we talked for months and almost year about how poorly they built her as part of a promo, from a promo perspective. She couldn't cut a good promo. She never really felt like, even when she won the title, she still felt a little lackluster and a little unsure of herself. Mm-hmm. This Lyra Valkyria was sure of herself. This Lyra Valkyria was ready to go. This Lyra Valkyria was on top of her game. No, it's not. This isn't to take a GM mode. This isn't a 5 mic skill promo. This is a 3 mic skill promo that went out there and had an excellent promo. Like, she's not, I don't think that she's good at promos, but this promo delivered. The promo that she needed to cut to do what she needed to do to get to next week, to get to the next show, she did exactly what she needed to do to put butts in seats for that match. And we'll have them on Supernova Sessions next week, as Lyra and Roxanne will both be on Supernova Sessions next week, so that'll be interesting. We then get Josh Briggs versus Duke Hudson with Dijak on commentary. How much I enjoyed somebody on commentary doing nothing to get involved in the match. Dijak wanted nothing to do with getting in anybody's face. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm going to come out here and just sit here and do my shtick for 20 minutes. And he did. and it was glorious. The match is okay. The match is fine. Like, it wasn't great. It wasn't awful. It was a good match. It's the kind of the match you expect these guys to have. Neither one of them are flashy. Neither one of them are great. Duke Hudson's good. I think his Chase U MVP character is such a good character for him. He's devoted a lot into it. It really feels natural and real. I think Briggs is starting to get this ball rolling on whatever character he's got building. This roughneck, look out for myself, kind of, trying to ramp his buddy up, but at the same time not coddle his buddy and be friends. He's like, look, if you want to do this, you do this, but I'm not going to sit here and coddle you. But Barry's right, and critique where it needs to. It was a weak clothesline from Briggs this week to finish it off. I don't want to say that even the clothesline was weak, as it was the finish came out of nowhere, and Briggs wasn't on top for a lot of it, and it felt awkward to be the finish of the match. Briggs was very concerned with Dijak on the outside. Dijak was very content with just sitting his ass in a chair next to Vic and making jokes the entire time.
Pretty much. I want to be Dijak and just earn a paycheck for just sitting in the corner and doing nothing and just enjoying while you're watching.
But if you're going to want to get Dijak's paycheck, you got to go in the ring with Shawn Spears earlier in the night. And let me tell you, I listened to a small clip from Fightful from Sean Ross Sapp talking to Chris Danger. I don't know if I want to get in the ring with Shawn Spears.
No, but and not only that, but this match just made me think of, like, remember when we thought about Duke every time he was going to turn, and how often we thought he was going to turn, and he never did. And every time I see him now, I'm just like, I'm glad he didn't turn. I'm glad he's doing this, and he's still strong with this character. So far at least, I don't have any more doubts he's going to do it anytime soon. And I'm glad he isn't, because he belongs where he is right now.
He's going to do it at a time that's going to absolutely break our hearts. We're not going to see it coming from here on out.
No.
They teased it long enough. We're not going to. NXT's been real bad about teasing heel turns that never come. Nathan Frazier was teasing a heel turn for like 3 months and never turned. Tyler Bate teased the heel turn for about 2 months and never did. Duke Hudson teased the heel turn for a while with Chase U and kind of sort of did and then didn't. But, like, the match is fine. But then the ruler, my favorite boy, the Oba feminist man, Oba Femi, gets up in the Eagle's nest and he cuts a very Oba promo where he talks about these guys. He's like, look, you two guys went out there and you did your thing tonight. Great job. But neither one of you have what it takes to scale the mountain. And by the way, I'm the mountain. And I'm going to show you just how hard it is to scale this mountain at NXT Stand and Deliver in a triple threat match. And I'm just like, big, meaty men slapping meat. Yay!
The meaty men challenge we didn't get.
AEW promised us a meaty men challenge. They fucked it all up. Guess what? NXT's going to do it right.
That's true. And we have the big guys in the main roster campaigning for their version. So, you never know, we get to on the same weekend. No,
Yeah,
but we get our Nigerian Thanos did great though.
He did indeed. Barry Monkey, the crowd chanting is making over. I do too. I'm with him on this. He's having a hard time timing his promo because he's getting caught by the crowd as they're getting. I've never seen people get behind somebody and screw him up in a promo. And again, he's going to get there. It's going to be okay. But my God, the only downfalls to his promos when the crowd starts getting amped and he can't figure out the timing. And trust me, better men than him have failed with things like this, with the what chants, with the CM Punk chants. Like, there are chants all throughout the wrestling world that screw people up that are great at promos. And Oba's not great at a promo. Oba's good. He's getting there. He's learning. But I agree with Barry. The people are kind of getting in his way because his stuttering isn't trying to find the right word or stuttering over a word. It's he's pacing out his promo the way he wants to pace it, and the crowd keeps chanting that Wakandan chant. They're like, ooh, like they do the M'Baku like war dogs cry, and it's just like it's making him get a little off his timing.
Yeah.
And that's the only bad thing we can say about his promo, which, by the way, it's a good thing. Like, if that's the one thing that we've got going wrong, at least the crowd's into him. They believe in him. They want him to be successful. Now they just need to get out of his fucking way so he can be successful.
Yeah, that's true.
But Barry's not wrong there. Like, we love to tease Barry for some of his good takes and bad takes, and Barry has his bad takes, but this is a good take. Barry's had a lot of good takes tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to show that out. Barry, good job. Praise you tonight. You did a good job. I'm really happy with you. Things I wasn't so happy with was Prime Target segment number 3. I felt like they did all the good stuff in the first 2. They felt like they wanted to cover more, and they did a third one. And I thought... By the way, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. I have the ability to type things under our local establishment on the StreamYard, but I didn't do that one this time.
No, it has to be Bobby. There's nobody else.
It has to be Bobby. Oh no, I know for certain it's Bobby, but I'm just saying. I didn't want to call him out for it in the chat.
I don't care.
I titled this Mello's delusional arrogance, but it didn't go like I thought that's what they were going to go for. Was Mello delusional, like this is why we're here and this is what we're doing, but it didn't really go there. It fell a little bit flat. It didn't hit the heights that the first 2 really hit. The first 2.
I was waiting for that.
Call me out. I would never be that nice to Barry. Bobby, there's only a handful of us that have access to the Our Local Establishment Twitter page, just so we know.
Twitch,
yes. Well, he has access to Twitter too.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're sold in this match. Like, this Prime Target didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And the third one, it's fine. You know, it's whatever it is. I like Bobby, so it's okay. If it was you, Ed, be a stream of abuse. See, he knows if I were to be typing things, it wouldn't be nice things. There we go.
Yeah.
The Prime Target 3 didn't hit. I'll be honest. Did it hit for you? Was there anything you noticed out of this one?
No, nothing for me, at least. See?
Ilja Dragunov gets the invitation for next week. Metaphors in the TV truck telling us that they're going to be the host for Stand and Deliver, and I'm very sad.
Ay.
At least they're not on the card, so I'll only have to deal with them in small bursts.
Yeah.
Next week, as I said, we're getting the Supernova sessions for the Women's Championship competitors. We're getting the triple threat for the opportunity to go after the Wolf Dogs for the tag team titles between the LWO, Nathan and Axiom, and the Good Brothers. And then we're going to get Sol Ruka versus Blair Davenport based on what we heard from Sol Ruka tonight. They didn't confirm that here, but they confirmed it earlier in the show, so I assume we're still going to get it next week. And then we have a main event between the Alpha Academy and the Wolf Dogs, and it was good. I really enjoyed this. I love Alpha Academy. I think they're great.
I mean, for me, not only do I like them in the ring, but like being able to like talk to them in person, you have the different kind of respect once you get to like talk to them about that kind of stuff. Because like even like you mentioned it earlier, thinking about like Gable, for example, talking about Maxine, is like and being able to like ask him that type of thing about it, and him talking so genuine about it, it hits different. So yeah, I'm always cheering for Alpha Academy.
I wasn't talking to Akira Tozawa because I don't remember seeing that interview.
No, I didn't want to end up doing the dance, so I didn't do that.
Shame on you.
No.
Shame on you. You should have done it.
Oh, wow.
I would have done it.
You would have. Yeah.
I would have. But no, this was a good match. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the spot where at one point they're trying to suplex Otis, and Otis backflips the both of them. I thought that was a really great spot. But we knew how this was going to go. We kind of figured that it wasn't going to be a triple threat match, and it's not because Baron Corbin hits the end of days. No, sorry, the deep six into the spear for the win.
Mhm.
And then all the teams come out, and the LWOs on the outside of the ring on one side. The Good Brothers come out from the ramp on the other side. Nathan and Axiom come out from behind them. I thought they were going to come out from the Eagle's Nest, which would have been the smart thing to do. They didn't. They came out from behind them. They both run right past the Good Brothers. One knocks into Luke Gallows, and he almost falls down, but doesn't. As, of course, Luke Gallows won't take a fucking bump. And then they all start brawling in the ring, all four teams. I mean, this would be great if all four of these teams were going in a stand and deliver against each other. Are we going to get spas next week where we get all four teams in this?
I was going to say, it just feels kind of, I don't want to say awkward, but it's just like, what's the point of having everybody out there when you don't know who it is? And it's like, it almost gave me the vibe of like, it's going to be everybody because they're all going against each other at this point. But I did love Axiom and Nathan, the way just answered. It's like, shh. I was like, I almost missed them if I blinked. So I'm glad they did that type of entrance for them because it feels like typical of them as the high flyers to do something like that. So I really enjoy that. But yeah, just gave me the vibe. So like, how are we going to do this so we can get four-way somehow? Because that's the vibes it gave me as the attack was happening. So.
Yeah. And that, my friends, was NXT this week. But I do want to go back to, we talked about Raw. I want to talk about a couple things from Raw because there was some really good stuff there. That CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins promo segment was absolutely fantastic. Like, they went places that I don't think they expected to go. And I love how CM Punk called out Drew McIntyre saying, I don't have to put anybody else's name on my shirt to sell shirts. And somebody on Twitter posted a shirt that he was selling where he broke Big Show's hand.
Yep. I love the internet for that reason where they come with receipts.
Yeah. Like, Punk's right. Like, his best-selling shirts have never had anybody other than himself on it. Let's be honest. CM Punk didn't put Big Show's name on that to sell shirts. All CM Punk has to do is put his logo on shit, and it sells stuff. But that was a Paul Heyman shirt. That was never a CM Punk shirt. It never had a Punk logo on it. Punk didn't sell it. He just wore it. But Mike, thank you for jumping in. We greatly appreciate it. If you haven't, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Mike the Ref because he is a fantastic streamer who is doing all kinds of great stuff. And he has an AEW watch along tomorrow night. So if you haven't, make sure you go ahead and check out Mike the Ref right here on Twitch as he does all kinds of watch alongs for AEW. He does gaming things. He just did Tears of the Kingdom the other day. I was watching him play the new MLB The Show 24 earlier this week. I was in there listening to that. And if you go in there, watch his streams and go ahead and use your channel points to go ahead and do the Have the Ref Book It challenge. It's only a couple days left for the end of the month, and we're almost there. We got to get him over the line. He has a fantasy booking challenge he's going to put out a video for if we can get over the line on that thing, where him and 3 other friends of his are going to go ahead and book something in the world of wrestling. Mike, I appreciate it. It's Mania week, man. I need that cha-ching, brother. I need that cha-ching. It's going to be a long week. I greatly appreciate it. Astrid, tell the good people what you've got coming up this week and where we can find you.
Well, first I'll be on a ramble. I can't believe I'm going to show that about rambling when I don't ramble. But I'm going to join Queer Auntie this week on a ramble as Kyle's doing his own thing. So very proud of Kyle for getting one of the plays that he wanted to get in. So we're obviously going to be covering for the time being.
Now, Astrid, do you work on Friday?
What do you mean work?
Do you work on Fridays?
Like shoot job Friday?
Yeah, like shoot jobs.
No.
Okay, good, because you think I go long when I keep you here for an hour and a half or something like that.
No, when you keep me here for 2 hours, yes.
Auntie's gonna keep you for 2.5. Talk about 20 minutes wrestling.
And this is why I take a power nap and I have 1 rebel left to survive. But no, I'll be joining Queer Auntie on a ramble, and I know we're hoping Ladies Fashion Showcase will be pre-recorded, because Mel has places to go and I don't. So hopefully that will happen. But next week will be a lot of fun week, busy weekend, but with a lot of shows and guests and left and right. So we're excited for that.
And also, you can go ahead and pick up Astrid's shirt, modeled by the great Mike the Ref and the aforementioned Melville Collins, right here at For Your Wear. You can go ahead and scan that QR code right there to go ahead and pick up the shirt. And if you're picking up some gear for WrestleMania, you might be able to get it before WrestleMania if you use that rush shipping. So make sure you go ahead and scan this QR code right here to go to Astrid's affiliate shop. You pay the same price as you would on any other version of the WWE shop, but you kick a little bit back to Astrid on the back end so she can go ahead and upgrade some equipment. She can go ahead and pay for our Canva so we can continue making shitty thumbnails that I make every week for this wonderful show, because my thumbnail work is atrocious.
Can I save your voiceover for that for next?
Sure, you can do that. That's fine. You can save that one. It's fine. Of course, for me, you can go ahead and find me on the Twitter at edfries12584. You can find me on the Twitch, twitch.tv/edfries2002. I had planned, and I went ahead and played 4 hours of the My Rise the other day, because I wasn't feeling well, and I was going to do a voiceover and edited work and go ahead and throw it up on the old YouTubes on a new channel that I'm putting together, and my game did not record.
Yeah.
Yep. I worked 4 hours on the Mail My Rise to put out 3 or 4 videos, and none of it recorded.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah. Well, no. So I checked it, and it was recording the beginning portion, and then it stopped. So, yeah. Also, tomorrow you can go ahead and check me out right here on these same channels, as we have. Let me get the crappy thumbnail, because I make crappy thumbnails. Marvel Talk, our Rewind series, our MCU Rebound, goes ahead with the Avengers. Yes, we have finally made it to the end of Phase 1, the Avengers. We have a special guest joining us tomorrow, so me and Andre will be joined by Andreas. So that's going to get real fun, talking to the two Andres about this. But we're going to be talking all things the 2012 Avengers movie, so it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. I'm very excited for this. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. It showed what the MCU was really capable of. We have our first appearance of Thanos. All kinds of good stuff there. So make sure you go ahead and check that out tomorrow night, right after AEW Dynamite. You can go ahead and come on over here and check that out.
And that's basically a preview of what's going to happen on night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yes. I was saving that for tomorrow, thank you. But yeah.
I can hear the theme. There you go.
It's already on Twitter if you haven't seen it from Friday night, when they had Seth and Jey Uso show up and they had the Avengers theme. But yeah, no. Cody Rhodes seemingly putting together his Avengers with Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso. All those guys are going to be coming together. And it's all going to be for naught when Roman Reigns retains the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and makes all the Cody crybabies cry and cry and cry. Oh, it's going to be so good to watch the Cody crybabies cry on that Sunday night. Oh, I can't wait for my tribal chief and the final boss to go ahead and take care of that little pissant Cody Rhodes.
No.
But remember, I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief overview of some of the things that we are looking to do for WrestleMania weekend. We don't have official times for any of these, but these are the shows that are already locked in. We got a couple more shows that we're talking about. On Friday afternoon, we will have a Japanese wrestling update at a special time in the afternoon, because we have a busy potential Friday night. We have confirmed after SmackDown, me and Ashton will be here live on Twitch, on YouTube, to be going ahead and previewing Stand and Deliver. Then we have the Stand and Deliver post show on Saturday afternoon, probably around 3:00. Whenever Stand and Deliver ends, come right back here. We'll go ahead and watch that. We have a special guest of Amanda Savage and Mark Talks Wrestling are both going to be joining us, because WrestleMania weekend we have to have a big show. It's going to be a long one, but we'll get through it. Then, later on Saturday evening, me, Andre C., and I think Astrid Pizarro are going to be previewing night 1 of WrestleMania. We are then going to hopefully, if we time this right, kick it to our friend to get the tables, so you guys can go ahead and do a watch along over and get the tables.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch WrestleMania night 1 with Tony there. And then, after WrestleMania night 1, come on back as me, Astrid, and Tony are going to go ahead and talk about WrestleMania night 1. There may be more special guests on that show. We're not quite sure. We're still working some things out. But those are the 3 confirmed people for night 1. Point of View on Sunday morning, 11 a.m., will be a WrestleMania night 2 preview show. Bobby Munson, Mark Talks Wrestling, I believe, will be on that show. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to be on that show. We then have night 2 of WrestleMania post show, the Cody Crybabies Complaining Hour, where we're going to go ahead and it's going to be me, Bobby Munson, Mark Talks Wrestling, and maybe a special guest as we go ahead and talk about all things night 2 of WrestleMania. And then we roll into the next week where me and Ashton will obviously be doing a talking takeover. No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing a talking takeover.
No. I was going to say, hell no, I'm doing that after that week.
But we here at our local establishment, times will be posted as soon as we get them all down. Somebody says, Ed, you and the Dwayne dummies are so wrong. We're not. Cody Crybabies are going to whine and whine and whine. And whoa, the 3 initials that night are TEA, Tony, Ashton, and Ed. Yes! Spill the tea on NXT!
Oh no, not back to the tea.
We're going to spill the tea, Astrid. The tea.
No, I never liked the tea.
Like the old days.
No, that's a berry thing.
For Astrid Pizarro, I'm Ed Fries. We're going to play the calendar, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow.